All right, Dave, and welcome everyone to the East County post game show here for Friday, September 26th. We've got El Capitan defensive coordinator and coach extraordinaire Sean McDade joining us. We're going to get right to the action and start peppering coach with a bunch of questions about tonight's big Tony Berner Memorial Cup game with El Capitan Dave coming out on top, 17-3. I'll run over what I know and then let coach fill in the blanks here a little bit with the coverage tonight, Dave. The El Capitan Vaqueros retained the Berner Memorial Trophy on Friday night with a 16-3 road victory, I think it actually was, over the Wolfpack, and a defensive battle, coach. It really wasn't sealed until the fourth quarter. Dave, El Capitan struck first when quarterback Hayden Passanisi looked good again on these keepers. He powered in a 2-yard keeper with 5:40 left in the first quarter, and the Vaqueros nearly doubled their advantage at the end of the second quarter, driving inside the one, Day, but West Hills made a crucial fourth down stand to keep the game close. There was a lot of that going on in this game tonight. The Wolfpack cut the lead to 7-3 with 3:34 before halftime on a 35-yard field goal by Christian Slowowski, his fourth of the season. But hey, Dave, El Cap's got a kicker of their own in Ryder Powers. He kicked a 40-yard field goal, his longest of the year, to make it 10-3 at the break. Neither team, coach, could really break through in the third quarter. Those defenses on both sides did a great job, but El Cap finally got some breathing room midway through the fourth as running back Brody Kopp got in there again. Davey broke three for his third touchdown of the season. I think 3 in 2 weeks, coach can tell me, but that extended the lead to 16-3 after a botched point after attempt. West Hills did put together one final push, reached the El Capitan 5-yard line, but a couple of big losses there, I think, coach, at the end of the game, and maybe it was just suited just fine that it was a defensive game tonight for the Berner Cup. Go ahead and highlight your defense, and please fill in the blanks.
Yeah, all season long, I think we've been playing pretty high level defense. We got four real good linebackers that get after it, that run all over the field. Battle tested from last year and going into their senior years. So you got Bruin Ford, Bryce Benegas, Todd Carter, and Lincoln Walker. Those guys really anchor us on defense, and then. We got Spencer Chastain back there in the safety role, who kind of cleans up everything and just flies around the field. So playing real high level defense pretty much all season long. And then offensively we're getting there. Started off a little slow, but sophomore quarterback, sophomore running back. A couple of weeks and we really started to figure it out on that side of the ball. So we like where we're at right now. Certainly the road gets tougher these next few weeks as we go into league, but we feel pretty good with where we're at right now.
But coach, I mean, it was almost a feeling of deja vu, wasn't it, of the way we started this year? Um, Almost a carbon copy, if you will, of last year's start. And we started off a little rusty, shook the rust off, and then we went on a 3-4 game tear. And you're doing the same thing this season.
Yeah. I think a lot of that is just some growing pains. Think, we're starting 6, 7 sophomores, I think 7 now, with Micah Clark coming up and from JV up to varsity. So, it took some time for those guys to kind of get used to varsity level football, but we're starting to figure it out and, really starting to put some things together.
Coach,
After
go ahead.
after playing this game, and I mean, this is always a close game. I mean, like you talked about it, and we both talked about it, in regards to the records are out the door. It doesn't matter if they are 0-5, 0-4, and you guys have been undefeated. It's always a battle, and it's always a friendly battle too. So that makes it even better. But I figured it was going to be a defensive stand, and unfortunately for West Hills, they have struggled a little bit on the offensive side of the ball, but their defense has kept them in pretty much every game this season. I mean, they they were one penalty away from at least tying the Marauders when they played a couple of weeks ago. So I mean, they got the defense, but unfortunately, they're not scoring any points. So that's you can't win many games if you're not scoring in any well more than 3 points going in there. But tonight, you see anything different than you did last year? I mean, you whooped them 41-0 last year.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Ash does a great job. A lot of respect for him and what he's done with that program. And anytime that you play those guys, you know that they're going to be prepared. You know they're going to do things right. And you're right. I think their defense is really good. The nose guard kid that they have is really good. He's one of the most impressive kids that we've played against this season. So. And we knew that going in. I think that they're a lot better than their record says they are. And I wouldn't be surprised for them to string a couple wins together here coming up, especially with the way that they play defense and the quarterback kid is he battles and he's athletic and so my hat goes off to them. I thought they played a really tough game, and like I said, I would not be surprised to see them reel off a couple wins in a row here.
And does this battle test you for league play, especially these games, especially winning these last three um, going into it? Do you think that's prepared you for the Hills League, which, a lot of them have lost recently? Helix is down this year. Unfortunately, Granite Hills lost to Cathedral. I'm kind of mixed emotions on that one because uh, some bad calls and some bad spotting. Uh, but that's just what I saw in my opinion. But I mean, the sleeper I think that you have to play is Steel Canyon. I mean, they've been undefeated, and no one really thought they were going to be as good as they have been this season so far. So I mean, you have some beatable teams in there. Um, you guys may do well in the hills this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be a level up in competition. All those teams, like, regardless of records, all those teams are playing open Division One teams week in and week out. So you can kind of take those non-league records and they are what they are, especially with the level of competition that I know Mount Miguel has been playing and Granite Hills has been playing. And then, Steel Canyon, I mean, I think Coach Longerbone is probably one of the best coaches that I've had the opportunity of coaching against in all my years. And I know he really likes his team this year, and they're playing really high level football. So it's going to be a challenge, but I think we're certainly more prepared to meet that challenge now than we were maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it'll be a good litmus test for us. As we, kind of get into league play and start thinking about, playoffs and those type of things. So.
Yeah, that'll be that first game next week. And yeah, look, Steel Cannon's having a great season here, but the way El Cap's going, coach, 4-game winning streak right now. Do you have to be so hard on the offense those first 2 weeks of the season on the game plan? Maybe that was the problem. Are they finally cracking their holes in your defense at least? That's why we've seen that improvement. What can we do? They've looked a lot better for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just, the quarterback has really grown up over the last few weeks. He's making good decisions with the ball. We didn't have, Brody Kopp. He had a jaw injury, so he
Okay.
didn't play. He just started playing 2 weeks ago, so he's kind of the battering ram. So with him and Castillo at running back, it kind of gives us that 1-2 punch. So that was a little bit of what we were missing at the beginning of the year. And then the O line. There's not a single senior on our offensive
Wow.
line. So they're all sophomores and juniors. So just getting used to like different fronts and all the things that varsity level defensive coordinators throw at us took a little bit of time. But certainly they're getting better. And I think, yeah, we definitely try to bring it at practice a little bit, and so I think it hardens them a little bit. So
As we all know, Ramon, and also Coach, that Coach Burner likes to throw the long ball and he likes to air it out. But the run game has improved since those 2 games, those first 2 games, and especially Castillo has not only been finding those holes, but like you said, I think the offensive line is clicking on all cylinders, so they're able to stretch the field and create those lanes for him to run through. And I think that offensively, I think you're clicking on all cylinders finally. I noticed that you had Benegas to start the season behind center, and then you made the change. I think it was the third week.
yeah, they were splitting time a little bit the first 2 weeks. They were kind of both playing about half the game. Um, and some of that was just as Hayden started to get used to varsity football. And then, and with Bryce Benegas playing linebacker, it's a tough ask. Especially with, we move our linebackers around a lot. And so they're not just kind of stationary guys. They're asked to do a lot. They're asked to cover. They're asked. So, it's a tall task to play quarterback and linebacker. So I think, Hayden's maturation process at the position has really been beneficial for us and allowed Bryce to focus on defense and making that unit as tough as it can be. So. And
Coach,
I think what can't be lost is the importance of this game to Coach Berner,
yes.
and just what it means for our players to be able to kind of honor Tony. And we talked all week about if for 2 hours on a Friday night we can take some of that grief away and make something positive for Coach. I think that's really what it's all about. So.
It's funny, Coach, because Dave said last week, he said, how long has it been going? And uh, maybe we're just getting old. Because I said, boy, it seems like it's been going for longer than just 7 or 8 years.
7 years.
We lost Tony. Feels like, I don't know, feels like 10 or 12, but maybe there was a pandemic and everything. And I know
Yeah.
that even West Hills, everyone proud to play, getting an opportunity to play in a game like that during your football career, when you only end up playing high school football for a lot of the kids, it's special.
Yeah, yeah, and it's always, I think that this is, at least since I've been around, it's the first time that a team has won back-to-back years.
Yeah.
I think we've been, 1-1 at least ever since I've been here, and I think if I'm not mistaken, going back to the beginning of the cup, it's always been that way.
A little
So
a little crude here, Sean. I was trying to figure it out. And I'm like, am I right? Look how I did the little. I was like, yeah. There's my predictions too. By the way, pretty close there. By the way, but look right there, back and forth. I was just trying to figure it out
yeah,
kind of crudely there with Dave. I'm like, Dave, I think it's gone back and forth.
yeah,
Now,
yeah. I mean, at least ever since I've been there, yeah.
now, was I correct? I think we started it in 2018.
Yeah,
Was that the
it's
first
Tony.
year
Yeah,
of the? That's what my guess
I
was
think so. Yeah,
anyway.
Tony. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it was. Man, that was awesome. Great job by the defense coach. Oh, we got all the plays right there. So you said I was worried. You said Cop, but Cop is he's becoming a favorite kind of with everybody here with his touchdowns right now and the way the
Yeah.
offense is going. That's looking pretty good, especially going into the league season. I would almost I don't want to say that you guys now last week I kind of wanted to ask you too about the big win over the Monarchs because it was such a confident win there, 38-0. But I'd almost say that you guys the team might be a little disappointed to have those 2 losses now looking back on it, but I don't think it's going to affect it long term. As long as this team keeps playing well, no matter what happens in the Hills League, stay away from injuries, obviously, but will be ready and tested for the postseason, I think, Dave.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you guys win a championship, and that is your reward is to go over to the bigger boys, I guess, if you will, and who knows, you may be there for a while. We were trying to figure it out if CIF is trying to do a 2-year stint and then send you back and forth. But who
Seems like
knows?
that's what keeps happening.
It could change anytime. We all know that about CIF. It could change at any
Well,
moment.
I think I think Grossmont district has control over that.
Yeah, the conference makes up those rules about how that goes. I think at least as of last year, the thought was to releague every year, and kind of use 70% from the last year and then 30% from the year before, when they start figuring out all those things. But ultimately, that's for people who make more money than me to decide. We will line up and play whoever it is that we need to play, and
I thought the coaches that had defenses like that got an extra stipend, Dave. But
I think they should. I think we should. Yeah, if we could get that taken care of, that'd be great.
Well, we're
great
we're vouching for you, Coach, because you are really what you've done with that and accomplished with El Capitan's defense. And I mean, when I met you myself, you were the head coach at Mount Miguel, and to be a full-time uh, defensive coordinator, it looks like you really enjoyed it, and you've just gotten better every year, no matter what kind of kids you have. You've developed a system that works, and I think it's gotten better every year personally. So I'm going to give you a check mark in the box.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Great job and good luck. Let's grab a couple wins in that Hills League season and show everyone what's going on here. Like Eagles are a special thing. I know that's to be realistic here, but look, the Cougars with their surgeons, Helix down a little bit. Mount Miguel certainly can be an exciting game if you throw some defense on them. So good luck, you guys, and congratulations on a 4-game winning streak here right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. We always
All
appreciate it, Coach.
All right, no worries.
Coordinator Sean McDade saving the day here again for the second year in a row, Dave. Bringing us the info there with El Cap over West Hills tonight. You mentioned West Hills had their moments as well and have some talent there, but I think we kind of called it there with that low-scoring game. All right, appreciate that, and want to say hello to everyone in the chat, including Rosangela Filippone Jones. Thank you for joining us here, and Josh, our El Cap representative, in the chat. Okay, Dave, I'm going to keep going here with you right now. We got to get a move on here with some of our games here. You watched this one, Dave, and man, even I was upset at the way the calls were going against the Granite Hills Eagles tonight. Cathedral Catholic wins it 40-30 out there tonight in Carmel Valley. But man, I'll tell you what, it certainly was, felt like to me, Dave, we were getting jobbed there. Even I can say it a little bit. Pretty disappointed with the way things ended up because I thought Granite Hills played really, really well in the game, Dave.
No, I completely agree. And the thing was, there was some, I mentioned it to you off camera about just there's no room for taking off a helmet after you intercept the ball and getting in the face of the opposing coaches on the sidelines, and I just don't think there's any room for that even at the prep level. I think we've grown up enough, and Cathedral Catholic is a well-respected establishment, and I just, not only that, but I saw some really bad markings. Some of the ways they spotted the ball, I mean, missed first downs. Some of the
how many times did they either get a fourth down stop or make a big tackle for loss, and felt like a penalty every time something bad happened for Cathedral Catholic?
Yeah, and that's what I didn't understand. And of course, we had our friend out there calling the action too. And I tend to.
He ain't my friend.
Well, the language there could, cause I mean, let's face it, I want to say those things, but we say it off camera.
Oh no, it's definitely a fan, from a fan perspective. Certainly, but I don't know. I don't know who it is. Not a friend of mine at all.
Anyhow, is it Zach Benitez put the Eagles on the board in the first quarter with the 1 yard keeper after converting a critical fourth down to tie the game at 7-6. Um, Granite was in it, especially in the first half. I mean, they kept it pretty close. Defense was answering the challenge. I want to give a shout out to Boogie Wells. I mean, he made a majority of the tackles, and even some saving tackles down in the red zone, turning away the Dons even twice on downs in the red zone. That's really hard to do, especially with this number two great offense. I mean, led by Mr. Palmer and including a stand at their own 2 yard line. A 26-yard field goal by Jacob Nunez gave the Eagles a 9-7 lead in the second quarter. But it's a tale of two halves, really, is what it is. Cathedral Catholic quarterback Brady Palmer responded with a late first half drive, setting up a short touchdown for a 14-9 halftime advantage. But hey, we were still in the game, and Granite Hills has been playing comeback for a while, and I thought that they were actually going to come back, and they were playing them pretty well in the first half. Granite Hills nearly answered, but Nunez's 52-yard attempt came up just short. I could tell you looking at it, I played it again, and I think he missed it by maybe a yard. He had the distance going downfield. Boy, and they said that would have been a Granite Hills record, of course. But what a foot and a leg that guy's got. But that was just short before the break. They wanted to get up to 12, and then in the second half, Granite Hills surged again. Benitez connecting with the Rocket Man Demery for a 45-yard gain. Then used completions to Zenon Smith and DJ Wilkins to push inside the 10. Returning standout Gage Spalding, my guy that we've always talked about, and I've talked about since the
this was his first game back tonight.
Right, and I was really missing him, and he had a 3-yard touchdown run, went right in, giving the Eagles a 16-14 lead midway through the third quarter. I thought we were on to something. The Eagles defense continued to battle, highlighted by a pass breakup in the end zone by Logan Vance. He's been really key on those red zone defenses and slapping the ball away or making a key tackle and punching the ball out. But Cathedral capitalized on a fourth down scoring strike from Palmer to Gianluca Busalachi. I hope I'm saying that right.
Oh, that was an incredible play. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking. He looked like he was wide open, and then the defender closed, and he caught the ball, Gianluca Busalachi, and he got clocked, but he held onto the ball. It was a great play. That gives a lot of credit to Cathedral on that one for sure. I think his butt landed right inside the line. I don't think he was out of bounds. I know they were yelling about that call too.
Yeah, I think that more of the calls were when Granite Hills was at the 2, and they were saying that he didn't get into the end zone.
Oh gosh!
On two occasions, he was clearly in the end zone and scored. I wasn't liking that. Let's be fair to both teams. Let's not be homers. There was just a lot of missed calls, and then anyway, back to getting clocked. He held on to the ball, then added 2 more touchdowns to go up 33-16 early in the fourth. But Granite Hills, like they've been doing all year, refused to quit. Benitez found none other than Noah Walker wide open for a 50-yard touchdown strike. And the thing is the DB was playing. He was really playing off of him. So it was almost like he was out there alone. He had a couple of steps ahead of him in the first place. So I'm thinking that Benitez he did a once over and then saw Noah out there all by himself, and with 4:20 left, cutting the deficit to 33-23. Still, here come the Dons, countering with a long touchdown from Honor Falave Johnson. And although Granite Hills added a late score, Cathedral Catholic sealed the 40-30 win. The Eagles defense kept the game close in the first half with critical stops, but look, I think the defense played well, but they can't be on the field that long. I don't care what defense you are, you're going to be winded by. And they played their tails off, and hats off to every one of them. Um, and the short fields, the late scoring opportunities. I mean, look, the last score that they had, what was it? 10. I told you, 10 seconds it took them to get down the field and score for the Dons. I mean, that tells me the defense is tired. They're done, and then what they were doing to run the clock out is they were on the far side. They would have the two tight ends line up. They weren't going to throw to him. And the thing that I didn't understand is we didn't change the formation to accommodate that and to better defend it. We saw it 2 times, and then they continued to do so, and it was number 25 going right up the middle every time they had the two ends on the far side. So I don't know what happened there. I think we could have been a little better prepared as far as the Eagles were concerned. But they found themselves on a wrong side of a handful of pivotal calls, as we've been talking about, leaving little margin for error against the number 13th ranked team. The Eagles now 3-3 show they can contend with the league programs. They only lost by 7 last week to a good Los Alamitos
I know, but
team.
you still got to go in there and face all your friends and the girls, and you're 3-3 now, and they think you're just a mediocre team when you're still a very, 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 very good team.
And that's because they don't know all the points that you gain by even playing these teams and scoring these points against those teams. You're scoring points that is going to add to you what ranking you're going to get. And look, they've had back-to-back losses, but they lost by 10 this week, 7 last week, and they are the comeback kids, I will tell you. And look out for them in league play. I mean,
yeah.
It's
going to be big time. Come on.
And I mean, look, Benitez, who now ranks second in the section with 1,582 passing yards. And again, I told you about it before the game was even played. Benitez is always so calm, cool, poised. He really he has a good surveillance of the field. And then he always finds a lane if he doesn't have an open receiver, at least to pick up a few yards, which I think weren't credited to him correctly as far as the spot was concerned on that as well. Benitez deep receiving core and Davion Williams steady ground production. Once again, it returns to league play. Cathedral Catholic remained undefeated and continued to prove its case as, unfortunately, a state and national contender. But how much better did the Eagles do this season or this year against Cathedral than they did as opposed to last year?
I agree, and I think Cathedral. I mean, look, I had them 6th for a reason. I don't even know if they're second. Lincoln's going to crush those guys for sure tonight, or this season. But Cathedral got the win. Tough, tall order. Look, it was funny, Dave. I said, "Oh, the Eagles really could use a high-scoring game. I think that would help." They led 16-13 in the third quarter. I think I was wrong on that. They wanted a low-scoring game for sure, and they were getting a great effort from their defense. And it felt like once the Cathedral started getting all those quote-unquote breaks, the air just let out of the tires, out of the sails, and that's why Cathedral is getting a bunch of long touchdowns at the end of the game.
Yeah, and you could see it in the coaches too. Coach Cobbs was on the sidelines. I mean, he was moving his head like this.
Oh my God!
And throwing. I mean, and with good reason. This is one of those games that it truly was one-sided. That's it. Case closed. But unfortunately now for the Eagles, they have to lick their wounds and prepare for league play.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine in league play, right? For sure. Look, there'll be some great games now. Steel Canyon's hot. We're going to talk about in just a second. Mount Miguel still going to be a pretty tough game. So great job there, Dave, following the Eagles on that loss. They're 3-3, unbelievably right now, losing to these, all teams are there rated above them. That's a fact. So,
but they weren't getting blown out. So that has to count for something too.
Oh yeah, and they should have. even I'm mad. They should have won this game. I always tell you to calm down. Calm down. Don't listen to the broadcast. But even I was getting pretty upset there with the way that I felt like it was going against us tonight. I'm the one that can find, hey, it's going bad. But those guys should be they should be taken off a game if we can afford it next week, and suspend those referees for 1 week for that performance
Absolutely.
there last week. If we don't have enough referees, send them out to an 8-man game or something. Okay. That was the home officials. Those are guys that are always there, same game at Cathedral. Okay, here we go, Dave. We got more action here. Boy, was this a thriller tonight. Mount McGill's streak of narrow road victories ended here. They almost pulled this one off, Dave, as the Matadors dropped a thrilling 26-25 decision to Oceanside at Pirate Stadium tonight. Despite a valiant comeback that gave them the late lead, the Matadors couldn't hold off a last-minute Oceanside touchdown and point after. They kind of looked like the Matadors at the end of the game, actually. Oceanside struck first. They marched 45 yards on their opening drive as S.J. Pumale ran it in for a touchdown, a failed two-point conversion, which both teams struggled all night. Mount McGill's got to get this fixed for sure, but a failed two-point conversion by the Pirates made it 6-0. Mount McGill's offense actually struggled early. I don't even think they got a first down in the first quarter, but they finally responded with a touchdown pass from Jeremiah Loper to A.J. Logan through, though another missed PAT left the game, I think it was 6-6. It may have been 7-6 in there, but Oceanside then extended their lead with 2 second-quarter touchdowns, including a run from Neke Latule after a Mount McGill special teams turnover, giving the Pirates a 19-6 advantage at halftime. Mount McGill began its fight back in the third quarter. Paris Vernon caught a quick hitch pass from Loper for a touchdown, trimming the deficit to 19-12. And despite another point after miss for the Matadors, it was the snap they were kind of having trouble with. There was a big connection from Loper to Logan late in the third quarter that set up Logan again for his second touchdown of the night, tying the game at 19-all with 10:21 left in the fourth quarter. Then Logan got a third touchdown, Dave. AJ, I want to see you. He had a 50-yard slant that gave the Matadors a 25-19 lead. He's definitely one of the top threats. Mount McGill's got some top Division I talent, but on their team, right? And Logan is a talent too. Maybe he's not one of those, but he is a star, man, on this ball club for sure. He gave the Matadors a 25-19 lead. After the PAT, they'd be nowhere without Logan. I promise you, they're a great team, but Logan is great. And Oceanside, however, undeterred, executed a dramatic late drive, Dave, with 53 seconds left. Quarterback Anthony Barcanero connected with Kyman Loa, and he's kind of something special. He was a deep one-on-one with Brandon Arrington, and he caught the pass behind Arrington's coverage to catch the game tied at 25, and they slid the PAT through, finally completing a stunning comeback and handing Mount McGill a narrow defeat on the road. Not a good loss necessarily when you're talking about a team that does have those losses and was ranked below you, but like we said, Oceanside, their 3 losses have come to 3 of the top 6 teams. Granite Hills knows what that's like. To lose to those elite teams. So remarkable resilience again by Mount McGill. This team is never out of the game, and they do stay composed. There were some errors in special teams for sure that proved costly, and the Pirates benefited from those tonight. So Mount McGill still remains a team that'll thrive in close games in league play, and right now I'd still kind of rate them right there, maybe above the Cougars and above the Highlanders right now as the number 2 team. But man, Mount McGill and Steel Canyon sounds like a good game this season. So good performance, Oceanside. Look, Dave, I kind of said that I thought Oceanside would have a tough challenge for him. I know we picked the Matadors there, but tough loss here tonight. Matadors 4-2.
But we did, I think, as a matter of fact, pick Mount McGill, but we only picked them, I think, by 1 to 3 points. So we didn't expect them to blow out Oceanside at any moment. So, but what a tough one to lose. After that that gives you a little measuring stick of how they're gonna fare with some of the top teams in the Hills League. Steel Canyon might give them a tough time. Granite Hills can give them a tough time, and who knows? It might even be a good game between El Capitan's defense and their offense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You ready to hear about the Cougars tonight?
absolutely, they're the hottest team in the East County as far as I'm concerned, record wise.
Woo!
6.
Shoot
They're
the cannon down there at Steel Canyon. A 28-0 victory over the Dorsey Dons tonight, Dave. A great victory, actually. Domination here for Steel Canyon. Their defense kept its championship level form, and the Cougars added some timely big plays on offense and special teams, of course, to remain unbeaten with a 28-0 victory over visiting Dorsey. The 21st ranked Cougars didn't allow the Dons build any momentum at all, forcing punts on the first two series before striking first on offense. Quarterback Gavin Kaha found Nico Yara on a short pass to the right sideline, and Yara turned it into a 45-yard score with 5:15 left in the opening quarter. Steel Canyon's defense and special teams combined for the next highlight, Dave, in typical Steel Canyon fashion. Listen to this. Facing 4th and 5 from deep in its own territory, Dorsey mishit a punt that fluttered off to the right, bounced a couple of times, and Dante Brown had a punt return for a touchdown, Dave, of 12 yards. The return extended the lead to 14-0 at halftime. Vincent Pryor had a sack before the half, a 12-yard punt return for a touchdown, Dave, because it was shanked, and it was a heads-up play for sure by I believe Dante Brown. Hope I got that right. The Cougars continue to take advantage of Dorsey mistakes early in the second half. Vincent Carter, I believe, recovered a fumble at the Dons' 18-yard line, and Marcus Hunt, I'm pretty sure it was him that had a hard run to move the ball down to the 2. On 4th down, Dave, Steel Canyon ended up lining up for a field goal right after a player injury. Just a player was down, I believe, for Dorsey. And so the Cougars dialed up the old run play out of the swinging gate. They lined up for the swinging gate. They snapped it to Yara, but the snap was too high, and he actually had to jump up, and he got caught back at the 10-yard line. Not caught, but he took off running, and he scored, pushing the lead to 21-0. Another way Yara's finding a way in the end zone with 5:35 left in the third quarter, and the final touchdown came after another special teams miscue, this one by Dorsey, setting Steel Canyon up at the Dorsey 18, and Kaha connected with Yara again, who took a hit near the 10-yard line, spun free, and fought through some contact across the goal line for an 18-yard score with 8:25 to go. So with the win, Dave, Steel Canyon 6-0, building a big resume here that they can contend in the Grossmont Hills League. Like we said, the Eagles are on a little bit of a different level, but man, it's hard to really gauge right now where this Steel Canyon lies. They got balance on offense. They have the most opportunistic special teams probably in the county, and they've proven stingy on defense here. So, great win.
But we did say too, Dorsey was I don't want to call them patsies, but they were definitely below Steel Canyon as far as talent wise. But Steel Canyon has been all 3 phases lights out, and they definitely showed that in this one. And like you said, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised after this one if their ranking goes to 17 or so after a big win like this. But it's league play is really going to be something. Helix possibility. Like I said, El Cap, that might be a great game. Who knows? But a lot of good football coming up with league play. But Steel Canyon, boy, nobody picked them at the beginning of the season. No media outlets, nobody at all. So,
Oops, you want to read it up there?
Jara is something else. PPR Special Teams Play of the Year nominee, possibly. Wow.
Hey, Dave, the camera wasn't working tonight. I really wanted to see this game, but what a win for Grossmont tonight at Mira Mesa. And you heard from head coach Anthony Lawrence tonight.
Yeah, I did. And you know what? I was fortunate to be able to see the first one. The first score was AJ Hooker he was into the end zone. They just, the way they got down the field so quickly. Tyler Holmes just throwing darts, and he definitely did throw one to AJ Hooker. But here's a scoop from Coach Lawrence. Defense played phenomenal. I think Ryder Robinson had 3 sacks. I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't have the stats in front of me. He's got to at least have double digits by now of sacks, and maybe even not solos, but also half sacks, if you will. Drew Kesena made a lot of plays. Nate Clark had an interception. AJ Hooker, as we just mentioned, at least 1 touchdown. That was the one I was able to see before the cameras weren't working. Tyler Holmes had 2 rushing and 1 passing. So, boy, Tyler Holmes has just been lighting it up any way he can, and I think it's almost like they're at the quarterback position, kind of like a Brett Favre going to a Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they had a quarterback in the helms. Is it the system or is it the player? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say at this point. Biggest takeaway from the game, though, Coach did say, was the defense played so well. I don't want to leave this guy out either, though. Logan Struck caught a touchdown as well, and that's right, Struck. That is correct.
Nice.
And another big win, 36-13, to down none other than their favorite team to play. I think now. I think that they might even psychologically be inside their heads when they get to the field and play Grossmont at home in particular. What is it now? 4 times that they've knocked off the Marauders in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Grossmont, I think, in the Valley, I think right now, as this game was just played, and on the 26th of September, I think that they are looking like the front runner for the Valley.
Yeah, it does feel like it, Dave. Especially when you figure Monte Vista lost that game, but let's see. You got to go on the road on some of these games too, and I think we can see possibly some upsets in the Valley League this year. So thanks to Grossmont for. Go ahead.
Well, you said it yourself last night. They got a defense, and that's really what Grossmont was missing last year. They were able to score a ton of points, but then the other teams were scoring 40, 50 points against their defense too. That's not happening anymore, especially when we have a Ryder Robinson going in there and off the edge and planting those quarterbacks on their backs.
Wow, 3 sacks, man. I think he had 3.5 entering the game, so he basically doubled his sack total there.
He's got to have double digits by now.
Okay, I have him at 6.5, but Gross. I don't know, maybe they've been a little tardy on their stats this season. I know Coach is busy, but we sure appreciate hearing about the game from the Footillers. Great job tonight. You mentioned Hooker with the touchdown there. Just a great job by the Hillers. Holmes throwing that ball to Struck, you said there in the first quarter, and Holmes ran for a couple of touchdowns too. So great job.
Great balance.
To go to 4-1.
Great balance. Great balance for the Hillers.
All right, Dave, you kept an eye on my Highlanders tonight, so I didn't have to. And Modern Day beat them 13-0. Oh, what did you have? Anything here with the Highlanders here? Oh, let me see. I might have this one. Oh no, you got this one. Yeah.
Well, the thing is a lot of the. I think it just came down to same thing, same issue that the West Hills Wolfpack have. Their defense is phenomenal. They're able to stop the run for the most part. Their edge rush, they had a couple of sacks behind the line. I just think that Lester Hayes, he got him to the red zone at least 3 times. They had also Thompson come in for a couple of series also. I don't know if it was an injury or just kind of get a different look. But I will tell you, he's got a good pair of legs. But you know what? The same thing was happening in that game. Some of the penalties were just, it was all against the Highlanders for the majority of them. And I was just like, this is a carbon copy. They're right there. And they're very questionable calls. Even some of the false starts, no one was moving. And I was just a little perturbed. Face masks being called that weren't face masks, and especially not intentional 15-yarders. But Leicester just couldn't get it done. Couple of receivers missing the ball. Robinson missing the ball a couple of times, although he did have a couple of catches. And their run game was, I would say, a little anemic tonight. But that defense, if they can get some points on the board, even a couple of touchdowns, I think that this team can win a couple of ball games.
Well, I sure hope so. We're going to be in the Hills League, like I said, where they're going to go try to look for those wins against Mount Miguel, against Steel Canyon, against El Capitan. That's what they'll have to do and try to get things going, especially at home.
And the thing is Modern Day, they were forced to kick a couple of field goals, so they weren't making it in the end zone very easily. Towards the end of the game, definitely were, but I think Leicester, it's not all on him. It's also the offensive line is just not creating those lanes for the running game to be successful. I think they need to work on this offense, just like the West Hills Wolfpack. Unfortunately, I've never seen a Helix team like this, unable to. They've always had at least a passer. Even in a down year, they've had a prolific passer and a receiver, or they've had a Chris Washington to carry them. They don't have that this year. They have a stellar defense. My hats off to the defense, but I mean, in most years, they should have beat the pants off of this Modern Day Catholic, because in my eyes, they didn't play that well either.
All right, appreciate that, Dave, and we'll see when the Highlanders get into league play. All right, let's get to some excitement. I know we had we ended up on the short end of a few games here, Dave, but I got some highlights from Christian. You heard from the Patriots tonight, so you can get ready here. I don't know if we can narrate these. I just threw them together. In fact, I got to call them up here kind of awkwardly. But I think you've got some information here on the Patriots, and so do I. So I think we can get through these highlights that we had from the guys. Let me take a look here at the action and kind of bring it up here. It might be a little bit clunky, Dave, but I think we can get through this here. Turn it down a little bit so I can hear you early on. Here's Runkle. Look at this catch. I might have it out of order, actually, here, but look at this catch by Rozier. That's a 50... at least a 50-yarder, not 55, and then a big field goal block here late. I think Madison was trying to get a 2-score lead here, but look at 52 right there with a big block, a big hand up there, and number 52 with the block. And then watch some of this action as the Patriots late here in the game. They led early, but then fell behind, and they needed a drive here late to get on the scoreboard. And you're going to see one of the plays of the year here, Dave, in just a moment. Get ready for it here. Now, watch this coming up right here. Get ready for this one, Dave. One of the plays of the year for sure. Late in the game here, time is ticking down. Less than 40 seconds to go. Russell, the jump pass. Who's got it? 10.3 seconds left. Who's got it? Is it a touchdown or what? What's going on, Dave?
It's a touchdown.
No, what? Oh, who is that? Number 21. Let me get that. Is that? Wow.
Too much time. Gotta go.
And there we go. The Hail Mary.
Dave, look at this Hail Mary. Look at this. They ruled that out of bounds.
No.
Bounds?
No.
They ruled that out of bounds, Dave.
I don't think it was
out of bounds. Our ratings are about to go up, but they ruled the play out of bounds. We got to rewind that. What the heck? Okay, this has to be 9.5 seconds left. So this is obviously the conversion to tie the game, obviously, not a touchdown, right? Let me look at the conversion again. Let's look at the whole thing. God, let's look at the whole thing. Let's look at the touchdown pass from Runkle here. I want to make sure I get the player's name right here. Number 21. Not sure I'm familiar. I hope the roster's right, Dave. Look at Rozier's there. He can't get it, but out of the pileup comes, I believe it might be Soren Lucy, unless someone else is wearing 21 here. Soren Lucy, the junior. Look, he's the one. 21 comes out of there with it. A miracle touchdown with 9.5 seconds left. And then watch here again on this attempted 2-point. Why are they from the 40? They must have got a celebration. They must have got a celebration penalty. And Kai Rozier obviously
he's in.
He obviously has. Okay, we'll do it frame by frame here with Rozier catching the ball. Look, the white line is the back line. You just need 1 foot in. Now, I see a man with a ball in his hand there, cupping it like this, and I'm looking at a shadow of a right foot that appears to be inside the white line there.
It is.
Is that his right foot? In fact, it looks like both of his feet are in there. I can't see where his left, but look at his left leg might be on the line. His right foot might be inside the white line. I don't even think, right? Oh, look at that.
He's in.
He bobbled it in.
Oh.
Again, and then, oh my goodness, is he in or out right there? Oh my goodness, maybe that second bobble. Thanks to the guys for sending that. Can you believe that? What a great video. We might go viral ourselves thanks to the guys out there.
That was courtesy of Robert Davila, the Christian statistician, also sending me the action. Also, Lakeside Appliance as well. He definitely helps us out. And what we have here, I think it was a lack of
he knows a bad call when he sees one out there with the Eagles. But that was tough. Boy, that was tough. Oh, I'm sorry I had the graphic wrong during the whole presentation here, Dave. But I think you have some information on the game as well.
Yeah, I was trying to actually get a hold of Coach. The assistant coach usually gives me the lowdown on everything, and that's a Joey Moronis, assistant coach. I haven't heard from him yet, but it pretty much just narrates all the video that we just saw, and then final play that the Pats caught it in the end zone, foot out of bounds, 28-30. But the other key was a 2-point fail, but then the Pats recovered their onside kick, and we all know the percentage of that of getting the onside kick in professional, college, or
maybe they did recover the onside kick actually.
Yes.
Because so that was a last play there then. That's what you mean. Wow. Oh my God, that makes it even more dramatic. So, all right. Well,
what a heartbreak!
They almost engineered one of the most dramatic comebacks of the season tonight, but the Patriots' furious rally comes up just short. Down by 2 scores late, the Patriots and that passing game come back with those passes to Rozier and hauling in that big strike there down the middle of the field. The Patriots went there to 1-4 right now. So good job, Patriots. Close game tonight against Madison at Valley Stadium.
Can you imagine being at that one, boy? I bet you the blood pressure and the heart rate in the stands must have been going nuts. It sounded like it was definitely full of Patriot fans, and they do travel well even when they're not at home at the shared Granite Hills field. I'm just sorry for the You know what? Good job to the Patriots. You guys really fought hard, and you did everything you possibly could to knock off this Madison team. And I think that says a lot about the character and the drive and the willing to try and win that ball game. But then what a heartbreaker when it comes down to it. But hey, this could prep them for their next game. in league play.
Yeah, and also I'll mention Dave. Jack McGinnis was the Jack McGinnis football player was the homecoming king tonight out there. Runkle was actually stopped on a 2-point conversion attempt on that 2-point conversion that you mentioned. He ran to the pylon and was knocked just shy of the pylon. I'm seeing it here right now on that you mentioned there. So, okay, we got a couple more. We got to hurry here, Dave. We got Fallbrook tonight and Santana here. And heartbreak here for Santana. I think they were ahead in this game, Dave, considerably here. Let me see if I can't come up with the highlights in this one. I think I got it here. You just got it to me. And I think I got a little bit of coverage here from the coach and the Sultans. You heard from them here, but let me tell you what went on here in this one with Santana tonight taking on Fallbrook. In Fallbrook, as the Sultans fall short, a heartbreaker. Santana came close to picking up a bounce back win, but the Sultans fell 34-28 a week after their bye. It was as chaotic as it was close. I think the Sultans led this game 22-7 at halftime behind Ethan Miller. Had a big night here with 220 yards, 21 of 29 passing with 3 touchdown passes, including Coco Thornton, 91 yards on 8 receptions and a touchdown. Also, Caleb Carnes has been stepping up here, 7 receptions, 73 yards and a touchdown, and Denton Gore, 33 yards in receptions and a touchdown. Also, Julian Mayers rushed for 92 yards on 26 carries in the game there. And also, I believe it was Carnes that also rushed for a touchdown in the game, a 4-yard score early. Like I said, Sultans led 22-7, I believe, at halftime. So, Gore and Coco made those great plays there in the game. And however, the game turned a little bit on special teams miscues in the second half. The Warriors capitalized on a block punt for a touchdown, and a snap ball over the quarterback's head of the, I believe the holder's head led to a scoop and score. You said, Dave, you can help me out on that one. I think Coach Ested said they had a block punt for a TB, and the center snapped it over
the quarterback's head. It reminds me of the Super Bowl that Peyton Manning, where they had the highest scoring offense in first play of the game against the Legion of Boom, the Seattle Seahawks. Boy, he snapped that ball way over his head, and boy, that really took the wind out of their sails. And I think this is what did in the Sultans ultimately against Fallbrook. You know, and like we said, a bye can be good, a bye can be bad, and let's not look at that record because Monte Vista had done the same thing and gone up to Fallbrook, and at that time Fallbrook didn't even have a win. They had no wins. This time they had 1 win. Santana was favored, but again, Fallbrook played a lot of tough teams, and I think really this one though, I think Santana kind of shot themselves in the foot and on special teams, and that ultimately cost them the game.
All right. Defensively, Carnes forced a fumble that was covered by Jordan Galisi. Carnes also had 5 solo tackles. Dawson De La Cruz 4 solo tackles in the game. Tatum Morehouse also 4 solo tackles. Good effort there by Santana. I think I said Fallbrook in that game, and I'm sorry I did, but they did get the win here on the road at home, and a long trip for Santana, and maybe that was a bit of an effect there.
And we did say that Gore was going to be big, Coco was going to be big, and Denton. Yeah, we said that they were all going to be big, and I said Ethan Miller was also going to be huge, and they were, but they just came up with a bad play, unfortunately, that ultimately did them in. Don't worry, Santana. I think you're going to be just fine in league play. They'll do just fine.
All right. Got a couple more for you here. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on the show. Let's take a look at our final 2 teams here. And, man, Dave, it was We'll never see the highlights of this one, but it might have been the game of the week. Take a look at this one with Mountain Empire improving to 5-0 tonight with a win over Victory Christian Academy. It was exciting as it sounds here in this one. Mountain Empire pulled off a dramatic homecoming victory over VCA, 36-35, in a back-and-forth showdown that had the homecoming crowd on the edge of their seats. Red Hawks struck first in the opening quarter, an 8-yard touchdown run by Aguirre took a 7-0. I think that was actually VCA with the touchdown. Mountain Empire answered in the second quarter with star running back Elisha LaShawn Robinson. He powered in from 5 yards out, and the 2-point attempt failed. It was 7-6 VCA. VCA eventually stretched the lead to 21-6 with a pair of touchdowns, including a 20-yard pass and an 18-yard pass. But Mountain Empire closed out the first half with a spark as they connected on a long pass to Robinson, setting up a 12-yard touchdown to cut the deficit to 21-12. The second half turned into a shootout. Chance Ross scored on a 2-yard run, followed by a conversion, and Junior Ponce narrowed the gap to 21-20. VCA answered with a 65-yard touchdown run by Aguirre, but Mountain Empire wasn't done. Ross struck again with a 52-yard rushing touchdown. His 2-point run gave the Red Hawks a 28-27 lead heading into the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter featured a pair of dramatic swings. VCU reclaimed the lead with a 2-yard rushing touchdown and a 2-point conversion by Garcia, going up 35-28, but Mountain Empire finished with a flourish as Robinson scored another 12-yard rushing touchdown, and a 2-point conversion by Ross gives Mountain Empire the lead 36-35, and they held on for the win as Ross and Robinson were critical in that game, in the victory. And I did hear from Coach Cam here in this one, and basically he said that Robinson finished with 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ross, 90 yards rushing and 2 scores. Michael Noble had a late interception in the fourth quarter. They had to convert on a 3rd and short, got penalized, and had to punt. Victory Christian missed a 40-yard field goal with 3 seconds left. Mountain Empire's 5-1.
You know, and we talked about it, that we thought that Mountain Empire was going to win by a couple of touchdowns. The only win that Victory Christian had was against Foothills Christian, who I believe has not won a game and as of yesterday. And then to come down to just a 1-point win, that kind of baffles me a little bit. I mean, they did come back, but I thought that they would destroy these guys.
Yep, but they got the win, and that's the important thing. Keep that winning streak going here, and I'll wrap up also last week's game. I didn't do them a very good solid last week in last week's game, but certainly a good streak here by Mountain Empire. I'll clean it up a little bit if I can on EastCountySports.com and write up a story for them out there in Pine Valley, because that's what we do, is cover our Mountain Empire Red Hawks. One other game tonight, Dave. It was I got the final here. Let me get it for you. We lost 55-13. Foothills Christian went down to Viewpoint. That's okay. That's the show. Incredible job, Dave. You're to be commended for an incredible. No one's doing it like you right now on the East County Prep Football postgame as our executive producer, getting the player interviews and all those extra details to make a great show. Congratulations tonight. I'm sorry we didn't have more wins for you to cover.
Yeah, and as always, we have the great producer Ramon also, and just having this team, I think we've gotten better in our older age, and with all the technology too, it's really made it a little easier. Let's thank our sponsors too: Granite Mortgage, Lakeside Equipment, and thank you Robert Davila once again for all those great highlights from the Christian game. And I know he'll send the stats to us. He has been all year. And Touchdown Plumbing. And I want to thank Ramon Scott also for putting everything together and getting our graphics together. We wanted to use the bus tonight, but unfortunately our visitors came back with losses, so we didn't get to bring the bus out of the garage. But
thanks to Coach Sean. He saved the day. He was our guest tonight.
And it's always great to have whether it's a coach or whether it's players, we love to have them on here. They make the show along with the producer, Ramon. And so I'm going to say for this edition, week 6, as we start league play next week, overall with all of our Grossmont Conference teams. So we will be here to do our preview next week. So tune in on next Wednesday for that. So for tonight, for Ramon Scott, I'm Dave Dickens. Have a great evening.